Mr. President.
Hi,
Mr. President. Nice saying this.
Jack Hurley-Gannett
Mr. President.
and Norm Wege from Store.
President, good to see you.
See you.
Thank you.
Sit down.
Get a little wired.
Imagine they want this over here out of the way.
Yes, right. Exactly. It does sort of become prominent on the other side. Shall we start? Everybody's rolling? Mr. President, you've asked the world to isolate Libya by joining the United States in economic and political sanctions. Initial reaction from our friends has been lukewarm at best, refusal at worst. Is it not possible the United States will be standing in isolation as it has on other occasions when it tried to impose sanctions?
That's possible. We'll hope that, well, as many as possible would join. I think that I can understand that there are economic factors that are engaged here, that countries that have more trade, certainly, than we do with that country. On the other hand, they've got to weigh it against having to stay constantly on guard, the literally military at their airports, a loss of tourist trade, the added cost of all these other things too. And I think the case is so clear that if we could all stand together and isolate that country would then have to change its ways.
About Colonel Gaddafi, you've described him as a barbarian, as flaky. Now he's in effect drawn a line in the sand and warned you not to cross it. Is he likely to retaliate, maybe close those borders, keep in those 1,500 Americans that you've ordered home?
No, I don't think there's any indication of that, and nor would we permit him to do such a thing. But we've taken the action we've taken, and as I said last night, I won't add anything to what might be on our minds for the future. Let him wonder what's on our mind.
How does that differ from economic sanctions and doing business with Libya?
Well, it differs in the sense that we just picked out one particular American industry and shut that down.
Mr. President, you just mentioned jobs. You talked about unemployment. Domestically, there is some good news today. The unemployment statistics are out for December. The trend continues downward. When will America reach that magic 5% number that the economists say is full employment?
Well, I've asked our people to take some close looks at what is full employment anymore. It seems strange to me that we're still talking about a figure down there that has to do with the people who, through no fault of their own, are unemployed. And yet, at the same time, we have today virtually 110 million people employed. But the significant thing is, you can say, well, also our population has increased. But the potential employment pool consists of all people, male and female, between the ages of 16 and 65. Today, the highest percentage of that potential pool is employed than has ever been employed in our entire history. So do we honestly know what the figure of full employment is?
But as we take hope in 110 million people at work, is there not the danger that we will overlook what we must admit there are pockets of unemployment where it's absolutely devastating, if not hopeless?
Yes, that's why this Job Training Partnership Act that we brought about after we came in, we found that the job training programs of the past have been tremendously expensive. They were spending about as much as it would cost to go to Harvard. Not that I suggest Harvard as an answer to employment. But we found that the job training was, in many instances, training people for jobs that did not exist anywhere near their home area. So this partnership thing is a partnership between local government, local industry, and the federal government to train people for the jobs that are available in their particular areas. And it has had a job placement rate tremendously higher than any of the previous job training programs. So this is what we must continue to do, and even emphasize and do more, as I say, to add more to this. Because yes, the national rate of unemployment doesn't mean that it's evenly distributed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank all of you very much. Appreciate it.
Those are handsome cufflinks.
The ranch that I might appreciate it. So you can see that it, and I ranch it with a cutout hen. This I think is quite some job of handcraft there. This was sent to me by an individual